and we'll get going. Okay. So settling in. Sitting or lying down, whichever works for you. If you're seated, you're allowing the body to settle into the earth and inhaling and lifting through the crown of the head. Finding some integrity to the pose. If you're lying on the earth, you're releasing the hips, the shoulders, maybe the soles of the feet, maybe the backs of the legs and arms. And allowing the earth to support you. And then slowly bringing your focus, your awareness to the breath. Following the breath. Without changing anything. Just following the breath from beginning to end. Coming to your practice, the practice of bringing the mind, the body, and the spirit into balance, using the awareness of the breath to guide you. As we start to allow the glitter to settle, using those exhales to let go of any gripping and tension, to find some ease, allowing rest into the support of the earth beneath you. One breath following the next. And thinking about what brought you to your practice today. What is your intention? Shortening that to a word or a phrase. Placing it in an I am statement and repeating it softly to yourself a few times as if it were true and already happening. Now I'm letting it go. Bringing the awareness back to the breath. Maybe noticing where the inhales settle. And allowing it to move a little deeper. And we do that by bringing a softening to the body. Allowing the body to accept the breath. Witnessing the flow as the breath moves in through the tip of the nose, fills the body, and flows out through the tip of the nose. Three more rounds of breath like this. And we bring the practice to our mats. We roll out our yoga mats to remember. We practice here to develop a memory that we can carry off our mats and into our lives. to practice what we remember. We show up and we try to commit to neither abandon nor coerce the experience, to just allow. To allow the breath to move us, to guide us, to bring us into stillness, to find flow in the poses, to become aware of the foundation that we grow from or out of, to let go of our own expectations or judgments, and just allow the experience to unfold, knowing that this experience will be different than any other. Not good, not bad. Each breath a little different. And as we bring awareness to the breath, we open up possibilities. We find the earth beneath us, vast sky above us, and the wise heart between the two. And with your next inhale, allow the arms to extend up overhead, finding length without efforting, allowing the breath to still keep its rhythm. And then moving with that rhythm, with your exhale, maybe the fingertips float to either side of the hips. And then with the inhale, they extend again. Maybe that extension isn't quite alongside the ears, allowing for wherever your body is today and meeting it, not forcing it into a shape, not forcing life, but just allowing. That is the practice. And we're not very good at it because our thoughts are always there. Our expectations, our judgments. So the practice is to let go of that. To find the flow with the breath. To be right here with this inhale and the extension. And the next exhale and the softening. Allow the fingertips to rest on either side of the hips. If you're sitting, maybe considering coming to lie flat on the floor. With your next exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug. Maybe you're resting in this stillness, scanning the body, letting go of efforting in the shoulders, allowing the hips to settle. And then maybe you exhale and gather the belly a little and rock from side to side. And then notice what you notice. Every time we move with the breath, maybe we become aware of something different. We use the breath to find the flow in the body. Even in the stillness, there is a flow. And coming to stillness there and allowing the feet to float to the earth. And tucking the shoulder blades under the center of the heart and sliding them down the back, away from the ears. And then rooting them to the earth. So there's no effort, there's just an awareness of the shoulders connected to the earth beneath you. The soles of the feet rest on the earth, hips distant, and maybe walking the heels a little closer to the hips. And it's that rooting to the earth that allows us to inhale and lift the hips and exhale and lower down. And maybe you're only coming up an inch or two and that's what your body needs right now. Maybe you're able to go a little further with each inhale. And exhale, slowly lowering down, trying to work into each vertebra to open up the back body. What do you notice? What do you feel? Sensation? Not labeling it good, bad. Just being with it and meeting your body wherever it is today. That's the challenge. to use the breath to find the flow, to allow the body to come back into balance. The next time you inhale, maybe coming to stillness with the hips lifted, with the shoulders rooting and the soles of the feet rooting to the earth, with the legs active, inner thighs hugging together, not necessarily touching. And then with your next inhale, maybe you have space to lift the hips just a little higher, maybe not. What do you notice? Exhale, lower down, one vertebra at a time. Allow one leg and then the other to extend straight out in front of you. Few rounds of breath here. Smooth out the edges. Soften. With your inhale, the right arm extends in the direction of your ear, overhead. Maybe it's more out to the side. Soften there. Let the arm rest on the floor. If you have props, you can always rest it there, or not at all. Walking both legs over to the left. And then settling into the stillness, finding ease in this side opening pose, allowing the breath to fill that space. Aware of this inhale and the following exhale. Aware of the rhythm of your breath, being curious about where it goes and how it echoes throughout the body. And using the exhales to let go of the efforting, find an even deeper ease. And with your next inhale, walk the legs back to center, float that arm down. Exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug. Resting in stillness or rocking. And then releasing the bind, if you have one, floating the feet to the earth and extending them straight out in front of you. And inhaling the left arm out to the side, overhead, somewhere between. Allowing it to rest on the earth. Maybe this side's a little different. There's a deeper bend to the elbow. Soften through the shoulder. Aware of that opening across the collarbone. Exhaling, both legs walk over to the right. Keeping the hips and shoulders resting, equal weight. And breathing into that space in the side body. Following the breath from beginning to end. And it's this concentration that allows the thoughts to settle, that lets go of the efforting. It's the focus that is mindfulness. It is the letting go of the judgments, of the expectations. That completes that mindfulness to just allow. With your next inhale, the legs walk back to center, that arm floats down. Exhale the knees in for a hug. Slow, mindful, with intention, staying in this moment. And then releasing that bind, allowing the arms to float to either side of the hips, palms face down, and the arms walk out a little. The knees are still over the hips as if you were sitting in an invisible chair. Feet are flexed, legs are active. And to anchor you, the belly draws in and up to find that connection to the earth. And then you find the ease in the pose as the breath flows one to the next. With your exhale, both knees float over to the right. With your inhale, they float to center, and with your exhale, they float to the left. Allowing the body to move with the breath, to let the breath guide you so that you find your edge. Don't force past it. You're moving slowly with the breath, so you realize when the shoulder starts to pop up as the knees extend to the opposite side, and you then inhale back up to center. Shoulders rest, side body lengthens. Gravity draws the legs over, and the core controls it as it aligns with the breath. Body, breath, intentional movement with focus. One more time each side, ending with the left. And then allowing those feet to float to the earth, walking the feet the width of the mat and allowing the knees to fall together. And then adjusting so the knees are resting together naturally so that you're not hugging them together. And then finding the breath in the back body. It's always there, but with awareness, we can soften a bit and allow those muscles between the ribs to expand, to allow the lungs to fill completely. Lungs with their own elasticity, but also attached to the ribs, everything working in harmony. Letting go of the efforting, increasing the strength of the muscles, softening the jaw and the eyes. Bringing awareness to the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the heart, and breathing into that space. Bringing awareness to the space just below your last rib, down the side body in alignment with the belly button, and breathing into that space. Is this breath different than breathing just into the back of the heart? Maybe, maybe not. Just noticing. What allows you to deepen the breath? One more round like this. And then exhaling, walking the feet back to hips distance and rolling over onto one side or the other. The knees draw up in the direction of the chest, thighs to the belly, shoulders are one on top of the other, and then maybe they drape a little forward of the hips. So you're starting to curl into a little ball. Maybe the forehead comes in the direction of the knees without closing off the throat, to allow the entire back body to open into that extension. As if you were in your cat, but without any efforting or control, just allowing. As the breath moves into that space, there's an even deeper expansion. Aware of the thoughts, allowing them to become a little quieter, drawing the focus back to the breath. Even if it's just for a round or two, noticing what happens in the body when we allow the focus to be on the breath. There is a direct link Using the palms of the hands on the earth and gathering up the belly, knowing that it's not just the arms or just the core, but both working together. We inhale and draw ourselves up and over onto all fours, taking the time to pad the knees. And then we find tabletop and we settle into it. As we draw the focus to the breath, we become a little stiller in the pose. As we use the inhales to scan the body, we let go of the efforting and find the ease. And we become aware of the foundation that's necessary to support us. So there's weight in that space between the pointer finger and the thumb. So that there's the pads of the fingers are resting on the earth. Not just the heel of the hand, letting go of the efforting in the wrist. And maybe this isn't going to work for you today and you're coming onto forearms and same rooting through the palms of the hands, but now rooting into the forearms, into the earth. And as you do that, you'll become aware maybe of the muscles around the shoulders that start to engage to keep you safe. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Full intention and awareness in the pose. So how's the breath? Because it's the breath that guides you. And then we find some movement guided by the breath. As we exhale, tailbone tucks towards the earth. As you inhale, tailbone lifts. Maybe you're moving a little further up the back body besides just the lower back. Maybe you start to lift the gaze and drop the top of the head in your cat and cow. But you're still moving slowly, mindfully, with intention. Trying to let the thoughts go and just focusing on the movement of the body as the breath guides you. So that you're aware of all the subtle sensations. So that you can move deeper when the body allows it. So that you find your edge and don't force anything. So you find the freedom of the breath. The breath that's always there. The solid earth beneath you and the vast sky above you. All the possibilities. And you find the flow in those possibilities. And the next time you inhale, find stillness in your cow. Soften the back of the neck. Inhale, lengthen the sternum away from the belly button. Shoulder blades are on the back body. There's a deep opening through the front body, but no pressure in the lower back. With your next exhale, find a neutral spine. Let the big toes touch and the knees walk wide. And as you draw the hips in the direction of the heels, you pause there. Inhale, lengthening the heart away from the belly button. And then exhale, bowing down to the earth, floating until your third eye, your forehead makes contact with something. Stacked hands, a block, a blanket, the earth. And then you find the rhythm of the breath in your body to bring the awareness back. To soften and release into this pose. To allow. Where do you find the breath? How can you allow it to move a little deeper? What awareness do you bring to this pose to allow its fullest expression? To find the ease to flow even in the stillness. To remember that it's in the stillness, when you focus on the breath, the body and the mind and the spirit are most in balance, or more in balance. And then we can find it more easeful way to flow into life with this awareness. With your exhale, the belly gathers. With your inhale, you come back up onto all fours, finding the foundation again, letting go of the efforting, and then taking some hip circles. The hips flow out to the side, back towards the heels, to the opposite side. Maybe you can flow forward to open up the hip creases. Maybe your wrists are okay with shoulders coming a little in front of them. Only you know what's right for you. As you rotate the hips on your knees, then reverse the circles. The breath guiding the body. Finding the flow, and then finding stillness here. Setting yourself up by finding the foundation first. Safe, secure, supported. And we move forward from there. Inhaling that left leg straight in back of you, extending, opening up the back of the knee, toes come to the earth, and as they curl under, the heel reaches back, still rooting into the palms of the hands. The arms are supporting you, shoulder blades down the back. Shoulders stay right there, just in back of the wrist creases. We extend by reaching that heel out of the hip. Exhaling, belly gathers. Inhaling, leg lifts, height of the hip. So the back body stays long with its curves. Maybe this is where you're staying, warming up the core body. Pit of the belly gathered, front ribs gathering up towards the back, arms supporting you. Maybe the weight shifts into that right arm so that you can inhale the left arm. What happens when you come into the stillness of the pose? Left leg, right arm, maybe just the left leg. Can you find a more easeful way to be in the pose? Maybe you're resting in this stillness. Maybe with your exhale, the knee and the elbow come together, not necessarily touching. Inhaling, extending. The movement throughout the breath guiding the flow. The jaw is soft, the breath is smooth. One more time like this, or resting in stillness. Maybe you're able to find just a little more length without bringing effort to the shoulders. Exhale, soften down, let that go. What do you need to do to move it around? Let it go, and then come back to the foundation. Find the breath. Keeping the shoulders right where they are. Core body is supporting you as you inhale. That right leg extends straight back. Toes curl under. Reaching into that heel. Where do you feel this sensation? Is it different than the other side? Maybe you need to get some movement before coming into the stillness. Do you need to soften a bend in the knee? How's the breath? With your inhale, we lift that leg. It's active, working against gravity, helping the core muscles. Nothing, no sensation in the lower back. Maybe as you commit to that right hand, you're able to inhale the left. Maybe this side is different. And you're allowing that left hand to come down to the floor. You're gazing to the floor, straight line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. With your next exhale, maybe the elbow and the knee flow together slowly, inhaling, slowly extending. As we concentrate and move with intention, we get more focused. We're aware of sensations. We move deeper when the breath allows us to. Back out of what doesn't feel good. Bring awareness to the moment, maybe resting in stillness in this fullest expression of our stretch. Lifting, lengthening, and returning back down to our tabletop. Walking the hands forward, one handprint. As if you could slide the top of the mat away from you, reaching into the pads of the fingers, the arms become active, the hip creases move back, toes curl under. Maybe this is where you're staying. Exhaling, reaching that tailbone to where the wall meets the ceiling. With that support of the belly, the pit of the belly, the lower back can lengthen and let go. The entire back body fills with breath. With your next exhale, maybe you lift the knees and reach the hip creases up and back as you straighten those legs, soft bend in the knees, and then bicycle it out. Maybe you're coming back down to the knees and just keeping that extended, active child pose. Same intention, same opening. And then maybe you're finding stillness in that active child pose or that downward dog. Finding the foundation through the palm of the hands. Shoulder blades slide away from the ears. Exhaling, hip creases up and back as the heels reach down. Doesn't mean anything's moving. You're bringing awareness to the flow of the pose. Maybe the heart softens a bit closer to the thighs. Dropping the top of the head, letting go of all efforting in the neck. Now you're gazing to the thighs or the belly. And with your next exhale, deeply bending the knees and walking the hands and feet together to inhale into half forward fold. Long spine parallel to the earth, gazing softly, finding the feet hips distance, finding that foundation, with the palms resting on the upper thighs, becoming aware of the shoulders, drawing them away from the earth, together on the back. Active, resting in the back of the heart, open across the collarbone. Pit of the belly exhales to support the lower back. Inhale, fill the ribs with breath. Exhale, root down. Inhale slowly all the way up Arms extend if that feels right for you, softening. The arms rest in their sockets. Recommitting to that foundation through the circumference of the heels. Aware of the active legs, of the energy drawing up from the earth, not sinking down. Finding that support, to that rooting to the earth that gives you the ability to then lengthen the ribs out of the hips, to soften the arms and the shoulders, and with your exhale, maybe floating over to the right, keeping weight in that left leg. With your inhale, floating up to center. With your exhale, over to the left. What do you notice? What do you feel? Maybe you're softening the arms into cactus. Maybe they're coming in the back of the head, the fingertips in back of the head, still opening up the elbows, but softening. What's right for you? Maybe the arms rest alongside the body and you're still working through the core to open up and lengthen, to let go. Shoulders are stacked, heart opens forward, not to the earth. Nice. The next time you inhale up to center, find stillness, float those arms down, roll through the shoulders, big circles. Moving into, or stepping forward to the top of your mat. And you use the breath to float you, to flow with the poses. Aware of the foundation that keeps you safe, of the breath that guides you. With your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. With your exhale, we hinge forward at the hips and reach the hip creases back, softening the knees. Inhale there to lengthen the front body. Exhale, maybe straightening the back of the knees a little. What do you notice? This is an entire back opening pose, forward fold. From the crown of the head to the heels, the bottoms of the feet. With your next exhale, gather the belly. Maybe you hinge a little closer to the earth. That hinge can be a micro movement so that the sensation stays in the belly of the back of the thighs, the belly of the hamstrings, not the lower back. Find the breath, use it to soften, to guide you in or out. Root into the feet with your next exhale, active legs. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. Resting in stillness for 2 rounds of breath. What are you aware of? Where does the breath echo in your body? Can you let go of any expectations? Find the flow. With your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. With your exhale, we bow forward. Inhale, open heart, long back. Exhale, maybe folding deeper. Inhale all the way up, moving throughout that breath. Exhale, heart center. Inhaling, we lengthen. Exhaling, we bow forward. Inhaling there. Exhaling, finding the expression of the pose. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, guiding you to your heart. Inhaling, finding length. Exhaling. Inhaling, lengthening again. Exhaling, letting go of the efforting. Releasing, softening into your expression of forward fold. Where does it take you today? With this breath. With each exhale, can you soften a bit more? That doesn't mean to let go of the foundation and give in to gravity. Can you find awareness, inhaling heart away from belly button, keeping the integrity of the back body, and exhaling from the hip creases, not the middle of the belly, not the thoracic body. Rooting into the feet, inhaling all the way up to stand. Exhaling, heart center. Resting the thumbs against the upper chest. Noticing how the palms meet. Letting go of the efforting in the body. Finding ease in the breath. Allowing the thoughts to become a little quieter. Bringing the hands to the hips. Allowing the weight to shift over the right leg so that you can step or walk that left foot back. Finding a secure, safe foundation for your warrior one. And then rooting into that foundation, widening the feet, walking them further away or closer together. And then committing to the sole of the right foot, aware of the muscles in that leg gathering. Committing to the heel of the left leg, maybe noticing an opening in the front of that hip. Aware of the rhythm of the breath. With your exhale, settle the hips straight down as you bend into that right leg. Inhale, the arms come up into cactus. Did you lose the foundation? Can you still focus on the breath and keep the foundation? With your exhale, hinge forward, keep drawing that right hip crease back. Inhale, float up. Exhaling, hinging forward. Backs of the hands, elbows lifting from the earth. Active shoulder blades. Strong foundation. One more round like this. What happens as you move? Do you lose awareness of the body or the breath? Can you keep it flowing together, resting in stillness in the fullest expression of your warrior one? Maybe as you exhale and root down, you're able to inhale and lengthen the ribs out of the hips, soft shoulders. Nice. Floating the arms down. Stepping that back foot forward, shake it out, let it go. Familiar work, moving with the breath to allow the body to open and let go of the efforting. Moving without expectation or judgments. Allowing the weight to shift over the left leg to step that right foot back. And then finding a safe foundation here and then settling into a stillness. Committing through the soles of the feet and those active legs. And exhaling, bending into the left knee, the hips straight down so the shoulders stay over the hips. You're drawing that left hip crease back, Take what you need, let go of the rest. Find some place that works for you, where the breath stays smooth, where the thoughts are quiet, where the body is in balance with the breath. Inhaling the arms up into cactus arms. So we have a broad opening for the breath to move into. They stay right where they are, the shoulder blades resting in the center of the back, the backs of the hands and the elbows reaching back. As you exhale, you keep that opening, that length in the front body, the strength in the back body. Inhaling, rooting into the feet, coming all the way up. Exhaling, reaching into the right heel, lengthening through the crown of the head. Inhaling, pressing into that left foot, drawing the shoulders over the hips. Moving slowly, mindfully, with intention. Letting go of the efforting, finding the ease. Letting go of expectation. Where does the breath bring you? The body softens, it opens, the breath moves a little freer in balance. Next time you inhale, find stillness and rest there, resting in the pose. Releasing into it, not letting go of the foundation. Aware of the breath. So that with your next inhale, maybe you can lengthen the crown of the head to the ceiling as the ribs extend out of the hips. Exhaling, the arms float down and that back foot steps forward. Finding Tadasana, your expression of Tadasana. Foundation rooting you, breath lifting you, earth below, vast sky above, wise heart between the two, breathing into the wings of the heart. The breath gets deeper as you let go of the efforting. Thoughts get quieter as we allow the focus to be on the breath. There's a flow in the body of energy. And there's a balance of mind, body, and spirit. Softly blinking open the eyes if you've closed them. Arms can stay extended or they can rest on the hips. We allow the weight to shift over the right leg to come onto the toes of the left with the knees straight out in front of you. And then we root, commit to that foundation. So the leg becomes active. So the back is long. And the breath is smooth. Maybe this is where you're staying in your balancing pose today. Maybe you're able to rotate that left leg out to the side so that the heel rests against the ankle, the sole of the foot. Maybe you're coming to a support so that you can think about the foundation and rest there in that lengthening. And let go of any judgments of balance or strength. That outer thigh draws the knee to the room in back of you, and it's that activity, the strength of the muscles that help with the stability. The heel or the foot presses into that standing leg, the standing leg into the foot. Even more foundation, so that we can lengthen from there, so that the legs are committed to the earth and the breath lifts you to the sky. so that you find that flow of breath, maybe inhaling, growing your branches. Maybe they rest at the heart center, aware of the breath moving into the wise heart. Soften the jaw. Your tree pose, just like every other tree out there, yours is different than everyone else's. The breath is guiding you, using the falling out to come back in, to recommit, backing out of anything that doesn't feel good. With your inhale, the knee floats forward. With your exhale, it comes back to the earth, and we shake it out and let it go. Curious about what we find on the other side. What happens today as we commit to the foundation in the left leg, coming onto the toes of the right. Rooting down to lengthen up, allowing that right knee to rotate out to the side, the leg in the hip socket, both hips face forward, shoulder blades slide down the back. And then finding a deeper foundation, more secure, rooting the heel or the sole of the foot to the ankle of the standing leg, aware of the activity in the legs, no effort. Inhaling, maybe growing your branches, aware of the breath. Maybe you're able to lift the big toe on the inhale and tap it down on the exhale. Maybe you're able to lift the entire foot. The gazing point helps. Soften that gaze. Over and over, bringing awareness to the foundation, lengthening through the inhales. Flowing in the stillness. We're never perfectly stagnant, right? The body's always adjusting, shifting. The breath is moving, the muscles engaging and letting go. Finding that balance, inhaling, the right knee comes forward, floating the arms down, releasing, softening into your Tadasana. Resting in the stillness of your mountain pose. Of the strength, of that wide foundation, that connection of growing out of the earth and lengthening up. Right here in this moment with this inhale and this exhale. Softly blinking open the eyes if you've closed them, walking the feet nice and wide, facing the long side of your mat. With the pinky toe side of the feet parallel to the edges of the mat. Rooting into the foundation. Lengthening up from there. Finding the ease in the breath that will guide you as you inhale and exhale, hinge forward into that wide-legged forward fold. Stopping when you feel a little tug in the inner thighs, back of the thighs. Where's your edge? Commit to the foundation again in those active legs without locking the knees. Inhale, float all the way up. Open heart space. Maybe even a slight back bend, your practice. Exhale, neutral spine, long front and back body. Hinging parallel to the earth. Inhaling all the way up. Till shoulders are over hips. Maybe a little in back as the heart lifts. 2 more rounds like this. experimenting with your breath guiding you deeper into the body. Doesn't mean the pose gets deeper, your awareness gets deeper. The foundation becomes more secure, the breath a little smoother, letting go of judgments and expectations. And the next time you inhale up, find stillness there. Let the right foot point to the top of your mat. Maybe the left heel comes out a little. And then adjust. Inhale, shoulders over hips. Soften the shoulder blades down the back. Commit to that foundation that will keep you safe. Exhale, hips straight down, long spine, bending into that right knee. And then breathing into the stillness to find your deepest expression of your warrior two, gazing over the right hand, aware of the opening from fingertip to fingertip, of the breath moving into that space, of the opening from the pinky toe side of that left leg to the sole of the right foot. The opening of the hips, of the strength of the foundation, the breath moving. With your exhale, the left hand floats down, inhaling into your peaceful warrior. Letting go of the efforting, moving with the breath to find ease in your fullest expression. Let the breath move into the right side body. Maybe this is not comfortable for you to keep that right knee bent. Maybe you're straightening it and coming into peaceful warrior this way. Does it feel peaceful? How are you being in the stillness? Can you surrender to the pose? With your next inhale, floating into your warrior two. Landing in alignment. And whatever that means for you. Floating the arms down, straightening that right knee so that now it pivots and is parallel to the edge of the mat. And we pivot the left foot and it becomes perpendicular. And then we settle into foundation on this side. Strong legs, long back body, easy breath. Exhaling, hips settle straight down as we bend into the left knee. And we land in our warrior on this side. Maybe this side feels totally different. And we soften the lower back and inhale the arms into our warrior. What image comes to mind with a warrior? Can you find grace in your warrior? Can you balance out the breath? The strength of the foundation with the softness of the lengthening. The work to hold the pose and the ease of the breath. How are you being in this stillness? Whatever we do on our mats is usually reflective of what we do in our lives. Becoming aware, using the breath to find some peace as we float into our peaceful warrior. Inhaling, the left arm extends to the ceiling, but it's still soft in the shoulder socket. We're still broad across the collarbone. And the breath fills the left side as we allow ourselves to float into that opening. Strong foundation, gentle lengthening, easy breath. Breathing into the left side body. With your inhale, floating back into your warrior two, keeping that foundation. Allowing the arms to float down as you straighten through that left foot and then heel, toe, the feet together to step safely, mindfully to the top of your mat and in your Tadasana again. Landing in the circumference of your heels to inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. Fingertips reaching towards the earth. Surrendering to the pose. With your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. With your exhale, we hinge forward, bowing to the light, to the earth. Inhale, finding length. Exhaling, deeply bending the knees so that the fingertips can come to the floor so we can step one knee back and then the other. So that you can wag your tail, take cat and cow, or hip circles. Your practice. What does your body need to let go of the efforting? Find some ease to soften the muscles that you worked. Maybe extending through the left leg, curling the toes under, reaching into that heel. And then doing the same on the other side. Maybe coming down to your forearms. And then rooting into them, soften the shoulders away from the ears, belly, front ribs, gather in and up. Inhaling the left leg, left foot to ceiling, knee bent. Nice. Soften there, root down, safe and secure. Maybe that knee hugs to the belly, and then the foot presses to the ceiling. Maybe the knee comes out to the side, then the belly, then the foot up to the ceiling. Taking hip circles, making hip circles guided by the breath. Finding ease, reversing the circles. 2 more times around like this. Always the option of backing out of something that doesn't feel good. You can take hip circles lying on your back, allowing that knee to come back to the floor. Set yourself up again if you've lost the foundation. And exhale, bending the right knee, foot to ceiling. Inhale there, exhale, knee to belly, knee to chest. Inhale, sole of the foot to the ceiling. Mindful of the back body, of the foundation, of any efforting, making circles, knee out to the side, to the chest, up to the ceiling. Slow, mindful, guided by the breath. I'm only offering suggestions. You get to decide. Maybe you come to your back, reverse the circles. Nice. And then coming to sit onto the heels, shoulders over hips. Hips come to one side, legs extend straight out in front of you. Walking the hands back. Shoulder blades slide together. Inhale, heart lifts, lengthens, extends. Walking the feet the width of the mat, flexing them so you're on the heels, and then allow the knees to float side to side. Alignment is important. in as much as it keeps you safe. More importantly, how do you feel? What are the sensations that you notice? Is this right for your body? Nice. And then coming to stillness, walking the feet back to hips distance, walking back or coming back onto your elbows and all the way down onto the earth, extending one leg and then the other. With your exhale, sigh the breath out. Allow the body to come back to the earth, to rest heavy. Inhaling, filling the heart space. Exhaling, releasing, softening. One more big inhale and exhale, let one knee and then the other draw in for a hug. Maybe getting some movement, rocking from side to side. And then finding stillness there. Just drawing the right knee in, letting the left foot float back down to the earth. Softening through the shoulders. Maybe making some circles through that right ankle. And reversing those circles. Releasing that bind or clasping the hands in back of the thigh and inhaling that right leg straight up to the ceiling. Flex and point. And then find stillness with that flexed foot. Sacrum exhales and roots to the earth. Inhale, reach into that heel. Exhale, maybe toes overhead. Your body, your breath. What do you notice? Exhaling, knee draws to chest. Inhale, it extends up to the ceiling. 2 more rounds like this, keeping the body relatively still, resting on the earth. Limiting the movement to the leg and the hip socket. Next time you inhale, find stillness. Keeping that foot flexed, crossing the ankle over the thigh. That right knee softens away from you. Just noticing how that right hip feels. Allowing the breath to guide you. Maybe walking that left heel a little closer to the sitting bone. Keeping the right foot flexed. Offering that right knee to move away from you. With the exhale, maybe both knees rock a little to the left. Deeper opening through the right side body, right hip. Inhale up to center. Exhaling over to the left. As you inhale, landing on the sacrum, equal weight in both hips. Exhale, allow that right hip to lift, right knee, keep lengthening away from you. Maybe one more round like this. Moving with the breath. And then finding stillness as you inhale up and extend that leg one more time. Reaching into the heel. Exhale, the belly gathers and you lower that leg to the earth, bent knee or straight leg, doesn't matter. Inhaling the right arm alongside your ear, lengthening through the entire right side. Reaching through fingertips and sole of the foot. And exhale, float that right arm down. Bending the right knee, letting that foot float back to the earth. Exhaling, left knee in for a hug. Thigh to belly. Knee towards chest. Sacrum rooted to the earth so that you're not over-efforting softening into the lower back. Soften with the exhales. Keeping that natural curve in the lower back. Maybe you're able to open up the lower back a little closer to the floor, but you're not forcing. Maybe making some circles through that left ankle. Then finding stillness there and inhaling, extending that leg. Keeping the bind of the fingers or not. Point and flex. Maybe this side's a little different. Honoring your body, meeting it wherever it is today. Softening there as you exhale, root the sacrum, the center of the lower back to the earth of the hips. Inhale, lengthen that heel to the ceiling. Exhale, toes point overhead. With your next exhale, the knee draws to the chest. With your inhale, you extend. Slowly, mindfully, with awareness and attention, intention to this breath guiding this movement. Letting go of expectations, just allowing the body to open. Going with the flow. With your next inhale, we extend. Exhaling, ankle crossing over the thigh. Rest in the stillness here. Scan your body with your breath. Maybe you have space to walk that old heel a little closer. Maybe not. Right heel, maybe, maybe not. Offering the knee to move away from you, that bent knee. Keeping the foot flexed and the knee softening away from you. Maybe with your exhale, both knees float over to the right. With your inhale, up to center. Landing in the center of the hips. Just bringing awareness to the movement linked to the breath. So that you're moving with intention, with grace, allowing the body to open, letting the breath be the control, not anticipating your edge. With your next inhale, coming to stillness, exhale there and extend that leg one more time. As you exhale and root to the earth, the leg flows back down to meet it. Extending that left leg straight out onto the floor, and the left arm extends out to the side overhead for a deep lengthening through the entire left side body. Breath moves into the space, exhaling. Left arm floats down, inhale there. Exhale, both knees draw in for a hug. Rocking if it feels good. And then taking any final pose to complete your practice. Settling into a final spinal twist, a few rounds of breath into each side, or maybe legs up the wall. Or maybe your final pose is coming into Shavasana right now. Maybe you're ready to just rest and release into that support beneath you without any other poses. Take your time, finish your practice. And when you're ready, you'll choose stillness and rest into the earth. using the breath to guide you. The exhales to soften, to let go of any remaining gripping or tension, to let go of anything that doesn't suit you. Following the breath from beginning to end, without control, just allowing for your natural rhythm and observing as it flows into your body and out of your body. Softening the space between the eyes, allowing the eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head and the forehead to melt to the earth. Using the exhales to soften the jaw and the tongue, and allow the lips to softly meet. All the muscles in the face melting to the earth. Bringing awareness to the breath. Using that as your anchor. There's an intention in the pose. A long spine, softening, and a lengthening, and a releasing into the support of the earth that's always there to support you. Aware of the vast sky above you. Breathing into the wise heart that rests between the two. We practice on our mats to remember this deep connection. And then we go out into life to practice what we remember. And as we drive in our cars, we're aware of our collapsed front bodies, of our head coming forward. So we lift our hearts and we draw our heads to rest on that rest that's there waiting for us. And we breathe easier and we realize we let go of any efforting and driving, of any tension. We flow. And we can allow, without judgment, for life to happen around us and just be in that flow. It matters that we pay attention, and it matters that we allow. Knowing, having a deep knowing of how we want to be. And allowing for all the life around us. Letting go of judgment and expectation. Isn't that the hardest part? We disappoint ourselves over and over again. And then we forgive ourselves for being human. And we start again. And we breathe. And we become aware of all the life that's around us. And we flow again. With this practice comes a deeper neuroplasticity. There's actually a biological, chemical, physical response in the body to this practice of becoming aware of the breath, to let go of the efforting, of the stress, and to bring ourselves back into balance, to find a steady heart, to have faith in the practice, to meet and hold negative and positive the same way. This is a practice. And the more we practice, just like a sport, we get stronger and better at it. And it's our better and our stronger. Maybe we'll never be a professional athlete and we'll never be a Buddhist monk, but we can become a little more peaceful, a little more aware, and flow a little easier. We can work our bodies to balance the effort and the ease. We can work our minds to find focus and spaciousness. We practice physical poses, balancing effort and ease to find the middle in the body, to know what it feels like to flow in the body. And we try to work the focus of the mind. We practice bringing mindfulness, intentional breathing and movement to find the middle in our mind. That feels like spaciousness, like stillness. We know the opposite of that. We know the rapid fire thoughts. We know what anxiety feels like, obsessive thoughts. We're practicing to find the middle, to find spaciousness, space between the thoughts, to rest in the breath. The stillness is the peace of the mind-body. Is there wisdom in practicing yoga? Wisdom in finding the balance in the body so that we can find balance in the mind, so we can flow into our life with grace and balance, letting go of expectation and judgment. In this time of not knowing, can we be okay with that? With just being in this moment, with this breath, in this body, whatever the body, the breath, and our life brings to us. It's a practice. It's not our natural way. And the more we practice, the easier it gets. The body and the mind remember and bring us to it a little quicker. We have our cues. And we open up the heart and we lengthen through the crown of the head. And we feel the breath filling the heart space. And we see more and feel more. And we flow with the life around us. And we don't miss the moment. The breath that's always there to support us, to remind us of the peace and the balance and the wise heart. Over and over again we practice. We forgive ourselves for being human. We start the practice again, letting the breath guide us. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth. Becoming aware of the space surrounding you. Slowly deepening your inhales. Softening with the exhales, bringing your body back from stillness. Inhaling, extending the arms up overhead. And exhaling, drawing one knee and then the other in for a hug, maybe rocking. And then allowing the feet to float to the earth, one and then the other. Transitioning here. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful. Ready to bring your practice into your life. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over onto one side or the other. Allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. The breath that holds space for the balance in the mind and the body. Bringing to mind your intention and repeating that softly to yourself one more time. Keeping the eyes softly closed, if that suits you, press into the earth and draw yourself up into a comfortable, peaceful, seated position. And with your inhale, maybe the arms extend one more time. And with your exhale, bringing the palms to rest together at the heart center. And we lift our hearts. And we bow our heads, honoring that perfect light that shines in all of us. With the intention that our practice be continuous, that we bring yoga into each and every breath and step, that our hearts be steady, that our practice be dedicated to the benefit of all beings. May all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May all beings be happy. May they find their freedom. May they know peace. May they walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me.